How have y'all seen Christian rap progress from y'all's vantage point since the beginning? I'm very interested in your answer.
Yeah.
Just because you was almost anti-Christian rap in the beginning.
I'm still working on it. The production to me is key. Like the production, mixing and mastering, the engineering side of it has gotten better to where it's like you could just hear a song. This is my good example for you. This is one of the reasons why I was a hard sell. I remember getting into a car and with somebody else threw on a Christian hip hop CD. No. This is what happened. They put on a normal, whatever that is, normal hip hop CD, right? And they started playing it. And the other person in the car was like, "Is this Christian hip hop? This is whack." And it wasn't. But just the stigma was, if it's whack, it must be Christian hip-hop. And I was like, we gotta fix this.
Hilarious.
This ain't gonna work. This is not okay.
Let's get the people what they want. The Wade-O Radio Show.
This interview is brought to you by our sponsor, Devin Turner. This MC and pastor is not only putting out great music, but he's doing phenomenal work in his community and abroad. Check out his new album, Luminary, available on all digital outlets. For more info, visit his website at devinturner.org. DJ Wade-O, of course. We are here at JahRock'n, the premier studio for your mixing, your mastering, your recording in New York City. And I'm here with the Trackstarz all the way
What up?
from ATL.
Yes.
Sir.
Appreciate you having us out.
I just want to go on record that when you guys had me on your show,
Yeah.
the question was brought up, yo, Wade-O, when you gonna bring us up to Brooklyn? I didn't bring y'all here, but y'all are here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
We appreciate it, man.
yeah, man, it's good to see y'all, man.
You as
Yeah,
well.
man.
Always good to see Big Bro.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. So how y'all feeling, man? How y'all feeling about things right now?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good, man. I mean, we feel blessed to be up here where it all started, this whole hip hop thing. So it's an honor for us to even be in this room, man. We've been
Hey,
watching
but Atlanta's
for so long.
like running
Yeah.
hip hop right now, though, bro.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
y'all just got Cardi, you know what I'm saying? Y'all getting back in the mix.
French had a number one album. Oh, no, album. I'm sorry, song.
True.
But she's been number one with her singles on Billboard, so
Yeah.
she's doing it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. How y'all feel about Christian hip hop right now, though?
It's I got some questions.
You got
I'm
some
hoping
questions?
you got answers.
I don't know if I got answers, bro.
I got some questions. Some good things, some bad things going on, but hopefully we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can figure it out
yeah,
tonight.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
So we usually do the interview.
Yeah.
This is gonna be
We looking
interesting.
like-
Everybody always do the interview. All we gonna do is ask questions to this joint. Hey, let me do this though. I think it would be good for everyone to know how the Trackstarz started
Okay.
and how you guys kind of came about. I was actually talking to a friend of mine the other day, and they didn't realize you guys been in the game so long. Like I remember y'all from Holy Culture Message Boards.
Oh, wow.
and
Yeah.
all
Wow.
of that stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's
Absolutely.
crazy.
So how did the Trackstar universe come to be?
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I started a company called J-Dot 2005. And the goal was always to, I saw a lot of people with talent, rapper over here that loves God, so-and-so over here that loves God, but they couldn't put it all together. Album cover looked like trash, mix sounded bad, whatever, right?
You
So
had
I'm
to
like,
bring this company back right now.
so it's like, man, like I believe in this dude, but it ain't all packaged right.
Sure.
So I started just by doing album covers, websites for people, things like that. But I always had like a big vision. I wanted to be an influencer one day. I wanted us to be able to put out movies, put out music, whatever, into the culture and actually do something. So, but I can't do all that by myself, and God just started bringing people into my life that helped put the pieces together. I met Ryan while I was doing spoken word, and Ryan had a passion for radio, and we were working at 107.9 down in Atlanta on Radio 1, and I started interning there with him. And we just started cooking up all these ideas like, yo, we should do this and this and that.
Yeah.
So we started the Trackstarz radio show. And there's a whole long story of how that came about. But we started rolling with that. And along the way, my boy Jeremaya, I went to church with him. And he was like passionate about music. He knew everything about Christian hip hop. He knew everything about music, period. And that was the element we were missing. So he jumped on board, and then we just started cooking. Like when we started, it was like 10 people listening, man. But we had a big vision for it. So it's like, we don't care if it's 10 people. We know we're doing the right thing. And we just kept grinding at it, adding pieces, added music, we started doing distribution. We started doing television, da-da-da. So it just started building, and the vision started shaping, So 10 years later, we're still here working, learning every day. So that's kind of how it all came together.
Yeah.
What made y'all decide with the name Trackstarz?
Ooh, that's you.
Oh, so...
Because I remember y'all wearing tracksuits, too. I remember tracksuits.
That's you,
too. That's on me, too.
I remember the tracksuits.
Yeah. So what happened was...
they may or may not have been velour, too. But I'm just saying, I remember the tracksuits.
Yeah.
I owned a couple of those in the day, too. So what happened with that was when we were working at Radio 1, all the radio stations, all the radio shows, they had names like Emperor Cersei in the Kingdom, Eminem Inside Your Radio, DJ Trauma in the trauma unit and emergency room. So we were just like, well, we need to do something that's, inclusive of putting us in one place. When I was in college, I had a radio show. It was Paperboy Inside the Mailroom. And so, but it fit. I came in a special delivery every Thursday, and it fit.
And that's what it was.
That's what it was. And so what we did was...
about the dance?
Yeah.
Talking about the dance?
Harlem Shake. Yeah.
The Harlem Shake.
Yeah, the Harlem Shake with it.
They call it the Ryan Righteous Shake. It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. You can watch him do it.
It's,
and it's the most funniest thing you ever saw in your life. But go ahead.
But yeah, so we decided that we needed to be in something. And so we were like, man, what are we thinking? And we came together in Sean's dorm room, and we fasted for a week, and we put the whole vision of Trackstarz together that Friday night. We came together and broke that fast. And we were just like, man, we got to do something creative. And so we started messing around with some acronyms. We started talking about track and field, and then we came up with field, focused intent to edify lyrical disciples. And then we were just like, Trackstarz. That's cool. Okay. And then we started thinking about track and field themes. Like Sean's first logo that he designed for us was a track and field. And then we started talking about, we put together a real corny air check tape. And I was like calling stuff like hurdle hopping, and it was crazy. It was
you
like
took the bread too far.
Yeah,
you took the bread too far.
Let's pull it back a little bit.
Yeah. So what we did was we did an air check tape. We went into 1079 Studios and we put it up on MySpace. And we let it rock for about 6 months to a year. And then we got a call from my college professor at Clark, Atlanta, that students weren't using the student-run radio station. He was like, man, you come on a Sunday. We'll give you a block of hours, and you guys do your thing. And so it started off as a conversation in a basement at Clark, Atlanta. And all we did for like 4 hours was like play Lecrae and go back to Canton and then go back to another cut on Lecrae. And then we brought DJ Jeremaya in the mix, and he came in with a fold of CDs. And then we were like, oh, this is popping now. And he brought an element of laughter and comedy to the mix, and that's how the Trackstarz got formed. And then we did something. I did something corny too. We did a show at my church. And we brought out, we were being sponsored at the time by ChristianThrowbackJerseys.com.
Wow.
Yeah. And so we brought, I got mine too. And we brought the jerseys out, and we announced on stage that we were bringing on a third member of the Trackstarz, and we gave him his jersey.
The throwback jersey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like Yankees, but it said Nehemiah on the back.
Yeah.
I still got that. I thought about wearing it to work, and somebody be like, who's Nehemiah? He don't play for the Yankees. So
Yeah. So
But
that's
the overall idea was, we're missionaries, we're in the mission field, running the race for Christ, but it's also music, track, stars. So it made sense.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's like well thought out.
Yeah. Since then, we dropped
a week without eating will give you a lot of great ideas. Try it.
Fasting is definitely serious, man. What are some of the important milestones for y'all in terms of y'all's ministry? Like, because it's like, you guys are on a bunch of radio stations. I know you've done shows and stuff like that. You got the video component, your website. What are some of the major milestones that you guys have hit through over the years?
YouTube. Yeah. YouTube changed everything. The first thing that changed everything was the South.
Yeah,
South.com.
Man.
South blessed everybody.
They,
though.
man,
Shout out Z.
Everybody, bro.
it's missed, man. Like,
Yeah.
Z hit us up and was like, "Yo, I love Line for Line. I wanted to be a feature on the site." He put us on there, did a little article, and we went from 10 listeners to 800. You know what I'm saying? 8,000.
Overnight.
Like that's it. That was the key moment. Somebody believing in us and taking a chance on us. And then it was just doing well on YouTube, little components here and there, but the South, man, that was it.
What really brought our brand out was the graphic design element that Sean brought to Trackstarz. I mean, being able to do the graphics, being able to do websites, being able to do flyers, making our logos pop. I mean, it really took us to the next level when people started saying, like, wow, y'all are consistent and y'all have a good-looking quality to your brand, too. So that helped a lot.
Yeah, I'm probably going to say the South, but also when we got on the AM station, because that was the first time when we got on to something kind of bigger than what we were doing.
Yeah.
And that was something huge for us. That was a mile marker, too, the AM station that we got on and stuff like that.
Getting the studio we have now was big.
Yeah.
For me personally, I never thought we could get our own spot, and it was Ryan and my wife that really challenged me to believe bigger than what I was believing for us at the time. I was just like, we can't afford it. We don't got the money for that. We were renting out a studio where you had to pack up every time and move it in and out. And they said, try it. And God brought something to us that's just amazing. In a church that believed, somebody I went to college with, somebody who was best friends with him since he was like out the womb.
Yeah.
And he blessed us with a spot that it changed everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to Tri-Cities, man. They blessed us so much.
That's good. Those are some good milestones too.
Yeah.
It's been
Those are
good.
good milestones.
It's been good.
I teach Sunday school at my church, and one of the lessons a couple weeks ago was they were talking about, I can't remember what the lesson is. I don't want to mess that up. But inside the lesson, this wasn't even the point of the lesson, but it was just talking about how when certain things happen in children of Israel's history, they would build altars to remember it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like sometimes I feel like when you've been doing something for a while, you don't always have your altars or your milestones.
Right.
Like critical stuff. That's why I asked that.
No, that's big, man. Honestly, like when we first started, we would see Wado, we would see, all these people doing it, and we're like, man, if we get there, it's gonna be crazy, da 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 da.
Yeah.
And every little milestone, you start to forget how far you used to be.
How far you came from.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it takes some time to reflect, to say, man, God really is killing it, man. Like we didn't do nothing. Like God is really moving us forward, and everybody never feels satisfied with where they are. So everybody that's like trying to come up, you really got to look back and see where He's already moved you just by saying yes to the call. He's already moved you way light years ahead of a lot of people. So you just got to appreciate it along the way.
I think another milestone we probably forgot was Social Club.
Yeah,
Flavor Fest.
Yeah.
We interviewed Social Club, and that interview took off.
Yeah, it did.
And that interview kind of changed a lot of our interviews online on YouTube.
But now we really want to be honest, line for line.
I was going to say that
has
was
been
the
our
next
grits.
place I was going.
Grits and our butter, yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And this man here, I mean, these two, I wasn't even in the studio today.
Oh, yeah,
to
that's
cook
true.
that up.
Yeah.
But when I came back, I was like, okay, we got something here. They did Jay-Z
And the truth.
And the truth.
And the
And
truth.
then they
And
also did
First
R.
one was
Kelly
Ken and R. Kelly.
Ken,
And
yeah.
it was shout out to DJ Sean Blue.
Yeah.
He-
Sean Blue originally started. He had a series called the Versus series, and he did R. Kelly and Canton first, and then he did T-Pain and T. Hattie first.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then Line for Line is like the grandson of the Versus series, Sean Blue.
Wow.
Yeah.
So think
Shout out to Sean Blue. 'Cause
Sean
that's
Yeah.
a good dude too.
Yeah, man. Good
And
heart.
so think about the situation we're in. Ryan wasn't there. We got 4 hours to kill at Clark Atlanta. And we were like, yo, we ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing to talk about.
So
Yeah.
I think Jeremaya is the one that was like, yo, I think Ken Jones is better than R. Kelly.
Yeah.
And it was like, skirt, what? You know what I mean? Like, what'd you just say? 'Cause
Hilarious.
I was the one that he had to convince me that Christian music was ready. I was the naysayer. I was the one like, nah, man. It ain't
But I think that's why
ain't
it works
ready.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it works. That
was-
tension.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the first Line for Line was totally different. I played the secular artist and he would play the Christian artist.
Yeah.
So we were battling. Like it was a battle between us. And I would find a song, he would match it. I would find a song, he would match it. And at the end of that one, I was like, you may be right. Ken got some joints. And it took that for me to get it. So we wanted to share that with everybody. Like, there's a lot of people that don't believe it's even possible until they hear it that way. So
You know where I always thought y'all got that from, honestly? When you used to go in Christian bookstores
And see
and
that
they would
list.
say, if you like Jay-Z,
Like,
The
this
Truth.
is-
If you like T.I., Trip Lee.
Yeah.
If you like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think we had to fight that stigma for a while because everybody, artists that we met, Thizzle, Cannon.
Probably mad, right?
Yeah, they
Oh,
were
yeah.
mad. Like, I'm not
Hot.
the Christian version of such
Yeah.
and such. And we had to really convince people because, honestly, that's kind of how it did start. But eventually it was like, no, it's not you're the Christian version of such and such. It's just that this is your style of music.
Right.
This is their style of music. People who like them need to know about you.
Yeah.
So whether you like it or not, it's a service. Like, there's a lot of people that say, yo, I didn't know about so-and-so. I
Yeah.
didn't know about Social Club. I didn't know about da-da-da.
Yeah.
It's a music discovery tool. It's Pandora. You know what I mean?
You
And
look
see,
at
now
the-
we so churchy. I mean, back then we so churchy. Now they probably want the comparison.
Now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you look on the YouTube channel and you see the comments are, oh man, I'm going out to buy Cannon's
Yep.
album. You know,
Yep.
I'm going out to support, and you know, how can I find more music on them, and you know, who else do you all do and stuff like that. So I mean, it just jumped off from there. But
Line for line is huge. It's huge. It's one of those things that like we didn't expect it to take off. I just was so passionate about Christian hip hop and like stuff. Like even I'm gonna show you my age today. Just ordering stuff off the bus shop. I was ordering CDs off the bus shop, getting them in the. My first, I think I bought R. Swift's Elevation 81.
Oh, wow.
01, his album
Yeah.
off the bus shop, and I was like, yo, and I knew about the South. So when we got on the South, that milestone we talked about bringing it back,
yeah,
that was huge for me because I was like, yo, we on the South. Like,
Low key, he had to tell us that it was huge. Like, we
yeah.
like, oh,
No, I was
this dude
like,
named Z emailed me.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
good?
yeah.
No, it's good. It's good.
yeah, I was like, yo,
Hilarious.
man, this is huge because like you said earlier, like I was on those boards and I
Yeah.
remember talking
Yeah.
to you, to Z, to other people about different things, and you know, so just that, and to think about it, like man, Line for Line has survived for almost about what,
it's
10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
still going, and
And
people
still
still
going. People
asking,
still
hey,
requesting.
can you do this person and this person?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I've done that person already. You gotta go back.
What's always new artists? I feel like now it's probably even easier.
Yeah.
It's well, I think the thing is too. One of the things about it is that we don't want to expose people to people they don't know. Because
Yeah.
right now the mainstream is kind of
I
going
got
more
you.
underground and more underground. So it's like now people that you may not even know because they're a SoundCloud rapper.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder to do that because you don't really want to expose people. Because sometimes like even people with deals, somebody could be like, hey, I never heard that person. That dude's nice. And it's like, well, it's not for that.
Yeah.
we ain't doing this for that. It's
Yeah.
because we want you to know about the Christian artists.
And I think too, we started different elements of it. We started the Beats edition.
Yeah.
We started the Line for
Yeah.
Line Showdown, which
Yeah.
is killing right now
Yeah.
because of our distribution company Nectar. We have the Nectar artists. They get to go up against artists, and the Showdown is, I actually like Showdown better than the Line for Line because you've got 6 individual artists that got to hold their own against the mainstream artists, and each one of them has to come through so that their team can win. You know what I mean? So that part is very interesting. And then when they hear about Nectar and they see that we're doing the distribution and they come to us and say, man, how can I get a part of this? And then we, start talking about different ways that we can help them with their music. I mean, it's just a slam dunk for them. So that's helped a lot.
What do you guys want to venture into next that you're not already into?
We have huge vision. It's a long-term plan, but Sean will tell you about that.
My original dream, even before music and all that, was always movies. I wanna get into the movie industry, but it's expensive, right? So we're building
You in the
up
right
to that.
city though.
Right in
You in the
Atlanta.
right city.
It is now,
Yeah.
not when I was.
No, but as I'm saying, God in His sovereignty, after
He
you didn't
brought
eat
it.
for a week
Brought
and
it.
you was hungry, and He gave you the vision.
Yeah, you're right.
He
You're
knew.
right. There's a ton of studios down there
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, we got
So
Pinewood now.
it's starting to come together. It's starting to come together. But that was always my long-term vision is I want to be able to put movies out into the atmosphere and that joint work. That's not corny. It ain't corny Christian stuff. It's something that could really, really impact the world. So that's like the long term. Right now, we're really trying to master the distribution stuff. Television is something we're trying to creep into as well. But distribution right now is the main priority.
I feel that.
But the vision is like a Sony Universal. Like that's the goal, is to be able to have people look at us and say, oh, okay, you know what, this is a brand, this is a multi conglomerate that's going on for Christian entertainment right now. So that's the vision, and we hold true to that, and just make sure that we do everything the way God shows us to do it. And I mean, there's no outline for us. We just go. We go and we let God open doors for us, and from there, we just keep it moving.
Yeah, that's real. And I think like even with Dylan talking about Nectar, for people who don't know, Nectar is our distribution company. Like we own a distribution company for Christian artists, and like right now we did Loso, Loso Project, Surf Gang,
working with
Swift, yeah, and then also we had King before he changed his name, and they doing good, man. Like everybody has been doing very, very well, and he came out with an album, one of the years.
Yeah.
So just all those components that God has really blessed us with, and people trust us. I think that's another thing too, that we earn people's trust. I think our dedication for the years that we put in earn people's trust. That matters, bro.
That matters.
You know what I mean? We just not over. I mean, I always shout out people. If you follow me on Twitter, like I always talk to the young people coming up. You know what I mean? And I'm encouraging them when bad things are happening, or when they're going through something, just let them know, like, yo, keep doing what you're doing. Like, it's a place for you in this genre, in this industry. It's a place for you. You know what I mean? And keep it like moving, and keep focus of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But speaking of earning trust, that's something we learned from you as well. Is to build up trust over the years, you can't be me focused. You got to be able to be willing to big up somebody else, shine lights on other people. Then it's like, okay, this ain't all about them, so I could be a part of that. And there's a lot of people that are like, no, this is my joint, this is my thing. I ain't sharing it with nobody. But we wanted to be the good guys. We didn't want to be, yo, this is our thing. We trying to crush everybody else around us. No, everybody got to win. We can't win if everybody else don't win. So that's the attitude we're trying to foster.
And we hear a lot that a lot of people earn trust with us, or people say that we earn their trust by being so available. We started something called the Independent Artist Spotlight with me about a year ago, and I was literally picking up the phone and emailing and Twittering and hitting everybody, and they were like, yo, this is Ryan from Trackstarz hitting me up, like, I can talk to you on the phone. This is real. And I was shocked by it, because I'm just thinking, like, I'm answering my phone. I'm not thinking of who's on the other line. But that part was really big. And so we've had people say, hey, I'm coming to Nectar Distribution because I remember when you talked to me about this. And we've had some artists that have come back that have been, man, diehard fans of the show. When they were, we had somebody that was 14 years old come to us and be like, I'm 21 now and I want to work with Trackstarz. And it was like, you've been watching us since you were 14, and it's crazy. So that part has felt really good. That's the reward at the end of the day. How many people we get to help and talk to.
That's good. Mm-hmm. How have y'all seen Christian rap progress from y'all's vantage point since the beginning? I'm very interested in your answer.
Yeah.
Just because you was almost anti-Christian rap in the beginning.
I'm still working on it. The production to me is key. Like the production, mixing, and mastering, the engineering side of it has gotten better, to where it's like you could just hear a song. This is my good example for you. This is one of the reasons why I was a hard sell. I remember getting into a car and with somebody else threw on a Christian hip hop CD. No. This is what happened. They put on a normal, whatever that is, normal hip hop CD, right? And they started playing it. And the other person in the car was like, is this Christian hip hop? This is whack. And it wasn't. But just the stigma was, if it's whack, it must be Christian hip-hop. And I was like, we got to fix this.
Hilarious.
This ain't going to work. This is not okay. So I think we progressed from that, where you could throw on a Christian hip-hop song, and unless you're really listening to the words, like, it sound close. You know what I mean? It sound right there. So production, I think the marketing has gotten better around it. My wife stresses marketing. Like, you could have a whack album, but if you push that joint, it's going to go. You know what I mean? So I think we've gotten better with the ancillary stuff. Artists have gotten better themselves. That helps. But to me, the biggest thing is the engineering. Mm-hmm. Like, it didn't sound good before. Mm-hmm. What? Not everybody. You understand what I mean? But, I mean, like on the average, you could hear the difference. Now, over the last 5-6 years, it sound the same. I think we still got some work in some areas, but overall production.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with you on the mixing. I think the mixes are good. I think you can still tell the difference in the mastering.
Yes.
As a DJ.
Yes.
It's like when you put on certain songs back to back.
Yeah, you hear the difference.
It's like you could tell, okay, they got a $400 mix, they got a $40 mix.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like you
Yeah,
could
that's
tell.
real.
You could tell.
And that's what happens with line for line.
Yeah.
We play one artist and it's like, and sometimes Jeremaya be slick and he'll be like, I'm not gonna tell you which artist I'm playing, and we have to kind of like listen back, but we know
Yeah.
just from the production alone which
Yeah.
artist is which.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got to do that as it come up.
Mr. DJ, what about you?
I don't know. I think because I've been down and like sold on it since 90. I would say maybe late 90s. I think the progression of it and what I've seen. I think just the time, the effort is better. I think the effort is better because now people understand the presentation has to be there. Like I can't just come up to Wado like, yo, Wado, yo, this is my CD and it's a burnt CD with my name on it and my information and stuff like that. And you gonna look at it like,
Yeah.
this may be good. I don't know. Or it's gonna be on a pile of my other CDs.
Well, if you hand me a CD, I probably won't listen to it.
or jump on. But
Yeah.
I think presentation has to be there, and I think
Yeah.
we learned that very well. I think, man, so many people's projects now, like the presentation and the rollout for it is good. People are putting thoughts into it. Like they're coming up with stories, or they're coming up with like not even just videos, behind the scenes stuff. You know, talking about projects, because it's like this is like it's entertainment at the end of the day. It's entertainment, even though it's ministry, but it's an entertainment aspect to it that you got to keep the person, because right now it's millions of rappers, man. There's rappers everywhere.
It's the business too. This is something I
Yeah.
heard you say. People don't know how to properly get the stuff to you. You have a way to get music to you.
Yeah.
But people want to throw, a link at you on Twitter or whatever, and it's like, no, I got a
Or
submission
the worst
form.
is Facebook message.
Facebook message. It's like, I got a submission form. Just
Yeah, we get
getting the
those,
business part
Yeah.
right, like knowing how to get the music to
Yeah,
you
yeah.
is part of it. That's gotten better too.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
And Ryan, what about you, bro?
For me, man, it goes back to that same pastor that gave us the space for the studio,
Yep.
Pastor Wesley at Tri-Cities Church. He brought me a Lecrae CD after the music stops, and I was like, this is cool, because when I was at 107.9, they did something called the Boogie Bless morning show on Sundays, and I
remember that show,
You
bro.
remember that?
Remember that?
Remember that?
No. I mean, obviously, I'm not from Atlanta.
Yeah.
But I remember going to Atlanta and hearing that on the radio.
Yeah.
Meet.
Yeah, that joint was crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like I met somebody that hosted that joint like a year ago. Somebody that was like
Probably
one of the guys that hosted it. It was like something random.
I'll let you describe them later, and I'll confirm that.
Yeah.
I don't want to put them out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say we know three of the hosts, personally, and so being at 107.9 and being in the sales department, being in promotions, you hear things, and so you start hearing like, oh, they got this, Christian hip hop radio station, radio show going on Sunday mornings, and so I gave it a listen, and I wasn't sold on it because I didn't know any of the artists really. But then when I got the Lecrae CD and me and Sean were already politicking and going back and forth, and we started talking about, can we do this? We went to a website to figure out, could we do this?
Yeah.
And we were disappointed with the website. And we were like, man, I don't know if it's ready, if it's the right time. But then when Lecrae came out, it's like something welled up inside of me where I was like, let's give it a shot.
Wow.
If music like this is out there. And, for me, Lecrae was the first interview.
Yeah.
So that was the first interview. So for me, that was when it all got birthed for me. Like, this is real. But what I like about it now, the progression of it, is that artists have come out, they've created their own lanes, and they're sticking to it. You got people that's really doing their own music. You got Bizzle out there. You got Thizzle out there. You got Cannon and RMG and Derek Minor. I mean, they're just doing their own thing, and it's refreshing that we don't have any copycats out there that's like really trying to steal the other person's shine. And it's all about God. Like for me, that was all I needed. As long as we were doing something that was God-driven, God-focused, because I used to do secular radio or mainstream, and the reason I walked away from it was because it wasn't God-honoring. I didn't want to be the person that was telling, the kids to go out and drink at the club, and somebody gets into a car accident for DUI, and then I got to live with that. So that's where it started for me. So the progression now is great. I mean, the sound is changing, so that's good. It progresses with hip-hop. That's what it's about. That's what's relevant for me.
Yeah, that's good. So I think this is everybody's been talking about this since the album came out. What do you guys think about the Lecrae album? You guys even asked me this when you first came in the studio.
I
It's
embarrassed
like the $1 million
myself.
question.
I said it was a classic.
You think so?
I said it was a classic. But when I said
Say
it,
what you really said.
All right, cool.
Say what you really
I put it out
said.
there. I put it out
See,
there.
this is we a little different. We argue. We argue
Yeah,
on
we
the show. So tell them what you really said.
And we also got trap doors, and Sean is the trap door. I was on the phone with him, and I was like, does this sound good for me to say this on the radio?
Yeah.
Because I had just finished listening to the album.
Yeah.
I called him. I was like, dude, I just heard the album. I was like, and he was like, yeah, say that. I was like, all right, cool.
set you up,
When I
bro.
said it, crickets. This dude would just ignore everything I said. I asked the question, I said, is Lecrae's All Things Work Together album a classic for Christian hip-hop like The Miseducation was for hip-hop? And everybody was like crickets. But this man was jarring me on the phone like, yeah, that's good.
He knows
Okay,
good response.
interesting.
He knows what's gonna make good.
You know what I
television.
always feel
knows
about
what-
with classics when I hesitate to call something a classic. I say, how is this going to influence people?
Yeah.
Like the music might be good. I'm not
That's
going to
right.
deny the music.
Yeah.
The music is good but I'm just like, what out of this is missing? Are people going to say, man, I need to start doing more of that's on that project?
Yeah, I thought it was good. Honestly, I thought it was better than a lot of the other albums.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying too. I'm not sure what was missing to give you that, but it sounded good. I could hear the influence of Natalie. I could hear the influence of Swoop and all those guys. I feel it felt cohesive. The storyline probably was missing. That's why I think Jeremaya looked at him like, you crazy. There was no cohesive storyline.
That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of good songs.
But we're coming from a different era though. You know what I mean? Like, Ryan Righteous comes from Atlanta, where that may not be the most important part of the album. Just give me some joints to jump around to, right?
Yeah.
So his maybe not the same, but
Broke
coming
is
from
my
me,
joint.
Hey, but one of my favorite albums, Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders. I was listening to it the other day. There was no cohesive theme to that.
then what
It
is
was just the lady. It was just the lady.
Yeah.
We maraud for ears. Like, it was just that.
And one of my
Like,
favorites
but it
is-
wasn't. You know what I mean? There was no.
Yeah.
It was just good music.
Well, I mean, it's
Gave you
almost
a
We
feeling,
still
though.
don't even know what a Midnight Marauder is.
yeah, that-
That's real.
but it's almost like the Black Album, like how the Black Album, it's it's Jay-Z's final album, but it's
Well,
not
he
telling
lied
a
to us
story.
with that.
lied,
though.
yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did. But it was still, but it was still like it wasn't a story, but it was just a collection of songs. That's my farewell to my fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just and I think that's why I had a problem with him saying that, because the Miseducation, to this day, I haven't met a person that said I hate that album. I've never met a person that said I don't like that Lauryn Hill album. I don't like Lauryn Hill. Like, every time you say who the queen of rap, you like Lauryn Hill, hands down. Like, hands down. So I think the reason why I came across like that, if you see the video, it was based off that.
But I did say NCHH.
You didn't say that.
I
You
did.
just said no. You didn't.
I did. He
You
knows I
did.
said it.
Well,
He knows
okay.
I
Well,
said
anyway,
it.
I
So
I'd
do you
never say
still
that.
think it's classic now?
I do. Well, the thing is, for me, classic is defined differently.
Okay.
And when I think of a classic, I think of, so I just give you the real example, right? I was doing something at my job the other day, and I was working with about 50 students, right? And they were like, hey, put on some music. And I just gotten the album. It was the same day it released. And all I have in my phone is Christian hip hop. And I was like, man, I don't know how this is going to come across with my job. I didn't clear with anybody. But I went to that album, and nobody knew I was playing anything other than just good hip hop. And so people started coming up to me, and they were like, yo, who was that you just played? What was that Hammer Time song? And I was like, yeah. It's Lecrae. And so when they were saying, yeah, I got to go cop that, then I was like, this is good. This is a good look for us. This is a good look for the genre. It's a good look for Christian music. It's a good look for hip hop. So to me, that's when I called Sean. I was like, yeah, I think this is a classic. So
What made me like it though, honestly, was every song on there felt good. You know what I mean? It wasn't no joint where I'm like, oh, golly, change
yeah,
that
it was
joint.
skippable songs.
So as far as putting out good body of work, it was good. To me, it was more complete than any of his other albums, where beginning to end, it was like, this sounds good.
Yeah. What about you?
I think it was a dope project. I told them I think this was his best work
Wow.
that I've heard from. I think it was better than Anomaly. I like the records. I'm like you. I'm an East Coast head, born and raised in New Jersey, so I'm like East Coast all the way. But this album is really a good album. It's a really good album, and I wasn't shocked by it, but because I know Lecrae got good work in him. I think my only critique is, and we said this on our show before, is just that I don't know Lecrae's sound because it's always changing. It's always changing, and I don't know if he's like, I gotta match the culture, I gotta make sure that doing what they're doing. But he doesn't have a defined sound to me, and that's just me speaking as a DJ.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like if somebody tell me like, "Yo, what's his sound like?" I can't even explain it to you because he's done a sound that's backpack. He's done a sound, that sounds crunk. He's if you follow his career, he has
everything.
It, you know what I mean? And I mean he's a great artist, but I just don't know if he has like a specific sound for Lecrae. That's what I'm saying. But I think the album is a classic. Not a classic, I'm sorry. It's a great album.
It's not a classic. You said
good album.
You know what's interesting about Lecrae? Every single fan of his has a different favorite album.
Yeah.
Like with Jay-Z, we brought up Jay-Z earlier. There's 3 albums that it's one of those 3 is his best.
Yeah.
It's either Reasonable Doubt, Blueprint, Black Album.
I
Period.
always say Blueprint.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
With Lecrae, bruh, I saw a post on Facebook the other day. It was like rank Lecrae's 10 best projects. Bruh, there was like 50 replies, and everybody had a different favorite one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some people said After the Music Stops was number 1. Some people said Rebel.
Yeah.
Some people said Anomaly. Some people said Church Close 2. Some people said Church Close 1. I was like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's crazy. I
We
think
heard Gravity today.
Yeah, somebody did.
Somebody told us Gravity was their favorite.
That's probably my least favorite.
Yeah, me too.
But I mean,
I would say this.
but that's me though.
Real talk.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
Those people would be wrong because this is his best
They said
album.
they wrong.
They are
This
wrong.
is his best.
This is his
And
best
I was a
one.
Rebel fan. I was a big Rebel fan.
Yeah. I think Rebel was my favorite from it because what you just said earlier, like the takeaway, I took away a lot from Rebel, and not because I'm like super like you better tell him. It was like that song Identity, that song with him and The Truth with JR singing on it from Rebel. Still love that record to this day.
Don't waste your life.
It speaks so much volume.
That record is class. That Identity is classic.
Yeah, that is go hard.
Yeah, it's
Don't
classic.
Waste Your Life is my favorite.
Yeah.
Favorite song.
So
So do you feel like you got some Rebel on this project?
Here's what I noticed. Just 'cause-
So he just skipped over that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Here's what I noticed. Because Ryan is a big Rebel fan.
Yeah.
And I know why Ryan likes Lecrae so much. I think that Lecrae was giving you, it's us against them.
Yeah.
It's us against
Yep.
the world.
Yep.
Yo, don't.
That was Rebel,
don't
bruh.
let them. You know what I mean? That's
Yep.
the vibe of
Yes.
it. I think some people who may have fallen off may be like, you ain't giving me the anthem Christian, be proud of yourself type stuff anymore. Now it's like, everybody's everybody, everything's everything, that kind of thing. And I think they lost like that rah-rah. So if that's what you like, then of course you're not gonna like this. But I'm just talking about music, like how it sounds. If you got behind Rebel, I think he gave a little bit of it. But to me, he's still on a different vibe. I think he's still kind of hybrid Kendrick Drake-ish right now, and that's a totally different vibe than Rebel. So I don't know if you're gonna get that.
When Church Close 1 came out, I remember I had a conversation with Street Symphony when he was still with Reach. And he just was like, it's no more us against them. Like, that was conscious.
Yeah.
Like, what you said, like, it wasn't even just like an evolution.
Yeah.
Like, they realized that. Like,
Yeah.
no more us against them.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, Street Symphony, big producer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He producing for people outside of the city. A lot of people in Atlanta. And when you hear those records, like I always had that fear that people would go back in Lecrae's catalog, like after the music stopped, the King record. You in Atlanta, and you talking about the King. You know what I mean? Like those records in the past.
Yeah.
I always thought that was a shot to T.I., dog.
Yeah.
It was definitely.
So now as you grow up and people see you and they want to talk to you and they may want to like sit down and break bread with you, it's like you don't want people to hear those records. You know what I'm saying? Not because it's anti-God or anything, but you don't want nobody to be like, yo, what's up with this? You know what I mean? Like, yo, what's going on with this? You know, like as an artist, if you're trying to reach out to people, I mean, you know what I mean?
Because it's basically a shot at them.
Yeah.
And he pulled back from that, and I think that's what people are upset about. They wanted like we gonna storm in and knock over stuff and da 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 da.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not doing that no more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still getting used to it.
But on
Maybe
this
people are.
album, I was happy to hear him go back at the critics that's what I'm always about. Like, I think as Christians, we got to stop beating up each other. If we are doing,
killing each other out here.
man.
But you notice though,
We killing each other out
the
here,
critics
man.
have changed though. This is what
Yeah.
I said. I said this on social media. Everybody was cool with Lecrae when he was going after them.
Yeah.
It's the same dude. Now he just starting to bark back.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, the church, this, white Christians, this. You know, he's barking at everybody now, and everybody's like, yo, what's up? What's this? Same dude. He used to bark at everybody else like that. So I think he's still being true to himself. I do hear what Jeremaya is saying as far as not his sound still being defined. But this is more like what I thought he was going to become when I first met him.
Yeah.
To me, everything he's put out before that was catering to somebody. CCM, catering to the Pipers, catering to the whoever's. This to me feels more like this is what I want it to be.
This is him.
So
Authentically.
where it goes from here, I don't know, but this felt more like this is what I want to do.
Yeah, I think his next move is gonna be real interesting.
Yeah,
it is.
I mean,
Yeah.
the whole shift of what Reach is doing is
Yeah.
interesting right now, man. You're looking at the AHA Gazelle, and you're just like, wow, this is different from a Trip. This is different from a KB.
Yep.
I mean, I'm rocking with old and new 116, but for me, it's just like I just love the fact that we're coming together for the right reason. We're doing this to promote the gospel of Jesus, and that's why I don't like the critics. The critics bother me because there's a lot of other rappers out there that are doing a whole lot worse, taking your kids down a whole nother path, and he's still staying true to his belief that I'm a Christian. I love Jesus. I'm sold on that.
But see, I think people, they want you to do it a certain way.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
Like if you're not, like I saw someone the other day said, I listened to all of AHA Gazelle's projects and I didn't hear God on there. I was like, you didn't listen to his projects.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, just because he didn't say Jesus 36 times
yeah.
across 3 songs
Yeah.
doesn't mean he's not talking about God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the bars are hidden.
Yeah.
That's
It's like
for real.
Grits. Remember Grits back in the day? When you listen to
totally.
Grits,
Oh yeah, you
when you listen to
Totally.
matter of fact, when you listen to that Goatee roster back in
Yeah.
the day, it wasn't God.
Yep.
It was I'm gonna give you nuggets. It was almost like parables. It's like giving you wisdom about God. You know what I mean? And I think that's awesome. That's always awesome, man. Just if you don't have to say Jesus every line, but you can give off wisdom of God. You can give off his point of view on a subject matter. So
Christian hip hop didn't give any room for growth, any room for sanctification.
Yeah.
You had to be perfect on
Christian
verse
superhero.
1.
yeah.
Christian
You had to be
superhero.
perfect on verse 1, and then people started getting involved in it that weren't perfect, and they still wanted to rap. So what are you going to do? You either going to shun them out, or they going to just bully in and take the mic from you. And they ended up being better than you. So what are you going to do now? And I think that's what's happening is these guys that aren't refined yet or ever, you know what I mean? They coming in here and they're like, yo, this is what it is. This is what I believe.
Yeah.
I'm a Christian just like you.
Well, I actually think I agree somewhat with that. I actually think there was a lot of guys that weren't refined before. They just faked it.
Pretending.
Yeah, they faked it well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They faked it
and
well.
You had to fake it
Yeah.
to get in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not cool. So hopefully what is being created now is to come as you are in a sense. You know, whatever your experience is right now, share that. And as you share it and you get involved, we can refine some of that. We can talk about some of that stuff, and you can grow naturally without feeling like you gotta pretend in order to get whatever we got. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's better. There's still some things, of course, old heads are concerned about that we're seeing some trends.
We had to overcome it too. I mean, we got hit real hard with, you know, people criticizing us for not having a Bible out on our table. Like I had somebody say, "I'm not watching your show anymore because y'all don't have a Bible out." Like,
What?
Okay, I mean, yeah. But then when you hear our hearts and you know that we are legitly
Because you
for
don't have
the
a
kingdom.
Bible out on your
We
table.
don't have a Bible out on the table. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, there's still stations that don't take line for line. We gotta put it out.
We used to be called Satanists when we first started.
Devils.
We used to be called devils. We used to be called the worst things in the
yeah.
world. You would think we was out here killing chickens.
You go
and
back
stuff,
to
so.
early line for lines, and those comments are.
We was Lecrae now. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were that.
So we looking like, how's it feel?
How's it feel?
How's it feel? Welcome to our world.
Yeah.
Hilarious. That's crazy. The Bible though?
Yeah. Pray before every show, all that kind of stuff. That's what they wanted to see. And I think what I've seen for a long time, and I think we're starting to finally get around to it, is you don't have to look like a Christian to be a Christian. Whatever if you are a Christian, whatever you do is Christian.
It's Christian.
Right? If you're genuine. So you don't have to pretend. You don't have to exaggerate it to fit in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if we're focusing on developing people's hearts, you don't have to worry about the outside stuff. Because if that person has a heart for God, whatever they do, God's gonna correct them. They brothers that are close to them are gonna correct them. Me, stranger in Atlanta, don't have to be like, yo, so and so in New York, can't stand him. He has no relation to me. So I think we gotta kind of fix how we're doing it. But I feel like it's getting better.
Yeah.
No, this is good, man. Listen, we could keep doing this for like
absolutely.
days and days, man. I love talking to y'all.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Any words of advice, any last words you guys got for the people, man? You know, it's a ton of Christian rappers watching this.
Yeah.
Right now.
But how can I get on y'all show?
You know that's
You gonna say that? I think I would say, I'll go first. I'll say trust the process. You're looking at legendary right here. Just like for you, you put in work. We put in work.
A lot of work.
Trust the process, man. It takes a minute to get where you want to go. Some people feel like, hey, man, this guy started this. He started last year and he popping. Like, you don't know if he started last year. You don't know. You don't know his grind. You don't know if he put 5 years in, 4 years in, and then God just started elevating him. So you got to trust the process that God has you. I would tell a rapper, like, if you serve at your local church, I would say that because I believe me and because he wasn't the performer. Me and Seantana was doing a lot of stuff with our local church first. We weren't doing radio. We were just serving. So I was serving with youth ministry. He was serving with college ministry. We would serve together in a spoken word, like rap, hip hop situation at a former church. And we served there for like years, not getting no money, not getting nothing. We just love what we did. And God, he helped us craft who we are. Like I could literally stand in front of a bunch of people because I served in youth ministry and talked to kids and stand on the stage, and that helped me. So I would say trust the process where you are. It may seem hurtful at times because it looks like this ain't going nowhere, but if you trust God, he got you and he will make sure you get to where you need to go.
Yeah, I would say just back off what Jeremaya said, like stay true to yourself. You know, we started off I started off interning at a radio station at 18. At 19, they hired me. It was 107.9 in Atlanta. We went from being in a number 5 market to going out in the door and saying we're gonna do this on our own. We went to a little small AM station. But be true to yourself because there's always somebody out there that's willing to control you or change you. Last year we signed a big deal, got us over 150 stations. Lawyers got involved. We got advertising for our show, things of that nature. And a couple of weeks later, we backed out of that because we realized that they're trying to change us. They're trying to make us somebody that we're not. So we tried to stay authentic. Now we scaled back to about half that number of stations, and we're just as happy doing what we do. Probably, been blessed by God way much more than if we had gone out and started listening to other people and letting them get in our ears. But, you walk away from big situations that feel like short things, and you take the humility road and you just let God work, and he opens up doors that are meaningful. Quality is so much better than quantity. Yeah.
I would say that you really have to find out what God wants you to do. The biggest thing that changed my life as a young man was realizing that God had something big planned, not for me, but big planned, period.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be a part of that. And I'm big about having a pure heart. If you have an ulterior motive, if you can't tell if your heart wants this because God wants it or because you want to be popular or famous, you're going to have some trouble ahead. This is not easy. It's not always fun. It's not always glamorous, if ever. It's the people who stick with it, that are dedicated to it when there's nobody listening, nobody watching, and you outlast the people that just wanted it for the fame.
Yeah.
That's when it happens. And if you're about building up the kingdom of God, like that's your number one priority, and you work at getting good, you read, you study, you ask questions, you perfect whatever it is that God asks you to do. If you stick with that and your heart is pure, it's going to move. It's going to work. But those are prerequisites. If you don't have that, I don't really know how to help you. You got to start over from zero again, because this is not even if you succeed at this, to me, that's a failure if your heart ain't right.
Hey, family, thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave us a comment. Would love to hear your thoughts on what we were just discussing. Also, if you want to book me for your next event, whether you got a concert, a party, a youth function, a corporate event, whatever it is, send us an email. It's booking@wadeoradio.com. I'd love to DJ your next event.